Here we go. Start off my pilot holes. This is the easiest way without a projector that I've found to get a nice grid, nice subtle grid that I don't have to rub off and ruin smudging the rest of the work. I make these based on dots. The dots are a guide. I've definitely found that painting with a guide and the dots is essential to getting that really nice geometric underlay that is seen but unseen. But a picture that's too geometric looks robotic. So it's nice to put some soul into it. Not particularly sure where this one's going. So I just go with the flow. Oh. Even if there's a few dramas, all can be ironed out. I'm not really thinking much at this point. It's more important just to let a bit of flow happen. Get something down on the paper that spurs curiosity. And when that curiosity grows, the magnificent shapes will start to reveal. There's no mistakes at this point. I'm just letting my mind relax and the shapes come out. There's obviously an underlying rhythm that my brain is trying to work out. Some type of formula I have inside me. But it's not particularly obsessed over. I use the compass to find a nice circle. And if I like a line that's gone through a shape in a particular way, I'll follow it out. It all has to be extremely fun. If I'm getting too obsessive about the piece and I'm not enjoying that fun, how am I supposed to do this all day long and make exceptionally satisfying pieces for me or my customers? I expect that when other people are following my guides or ideas, that their unique personality and unconscious feelings will come out. And this is the therapy and the excitement of seeing thoughts manifest. Now I'm letting certain shapes unfold and trigger in my mind. I'm seeing them inside my mind's eye before I draw them. I'm more or less drawing with my mind's eye before I make the stroke. This is a really unconscious experience, which is what makes it so fascinating every time. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with myself, and therein lies the relaxation of the process. I try and trust the exercise as much as possible, which in a way clears expectation and continues the experience on a path that is absolutely unique. Sometimes connecting a line to another line just amazingly transforms the whole piece. And a new shape, a new feeling reveals itself. I'm obsessed with squares and circles, as these are the basic fundamentals and elements of geometry. And from what I've learnt, the shapes that people most respond to. Including myself. So continuing that simplicity is very important for me. Or it's just a rule that seems to play out in a perfect form each time. So we've got some pretty amazing shapes laid down here now. It's time to let my eyes roll in and out of the piece a bit more and see where else I'm wanting to find a bit more energy or direction from the overall essence of the piece. It's okay to take a breath and have a look, but my eyes at this stage are rolling from the center out and then back in. And this starts quite a hypnotic process which is my ultimate goal. I've found that a lot of the mistakes that are made with the odd wiggle of the line ends up contributing to my viewer's eyes experience of some form of hypnosis and relaxation. This is what I really love and search for in art. If I can make an artwork that triggers deep relaxation and self-reflection, I feel like the work is doing its job without me forcing too much storytelling. There's a lot of deep structured geometry that comes through in mandalas in a frequency form that has a message, and that message to me is all about harmony. As you'll see, this mistake that was made early on, I'm working with it, pulling some heavier lines over the mistake to hide it. I'm not against rubbing out mistakes, but wouldn't you prefer to just let them be happy little accidents, as the great man Bob Ross would say? All right. This is turning into something quite unique. Started out with quite a few straight lines, and without thinking too much, I'm putting a lot more circles in at the moment. The whole time I'm doing this, I'm experiencing different levels of tension and release. Which again could be attributed to a good psychological experience. Here we go again. Another line. Needs slightly readjusting. Gotta have a double take on the brother sister lines of the other side of the mandala, just to get enough confluence that the matching is occurring. Gonna be bold here and put some squares in. There's many ways to look at each line. There's the immediate shapes of the lines next to each piece, and then there's their effect on the overall lines. I'm always focusing on balancing both of those at the same time. But the beauty of it is that there's a payoff. Which one do I want to take the viewer's attention to in that moment as a priority? This is somewhat the trick and game of the experience for the viewer. Trying to get into the artist's mind's eye to see where their psychological process is going and how you can follow along. Usually I would sit and meditate for a moment, but for the sake of the filming, I'm going to continue along in one movement, which again is a whole nother experience. Extremely fun to learn from and go through on each new piece as I'm teaching myself something new about all parts of this art. The use of the pencil, the weight of the paper, the challenge of balancing contrast, shape, neatness, and the process of continuation. This is the high-level experience that any artist wants in the proficiency of creating an artwork that is unique and identifiable to oneself. You can see these heavier lines this time begging to move in, and I knew this would be the case on that first mistake, but again I'm going with it. There's 1,000,001 different techniques regarding shape, line work, balance, that someone can prioritize in their own work, and I'm never quite satisfied with my direction, because if I become too repetitive, that's where you get boredom. Although following something that is identifiable with subtle changes is quite satisfying. For some reason, my mind is always trying to open up new ideas through my art, for better or for worse, but this is how I make my work. I've got many different directions that I can take my work in, and different set of skills that I can bring to a piece at any one moment. but they don't particularly come in any type of order, apart from the start and the finish. It's at this point I've found some particularly attractive shapes that are connecting this whole piece together, and I'm flushing them out to give the whole piece some connection. This is starting to satisfy my unconscious mind's eye, or conscious. It's just starting to really grab me and pull me in. And that is starting to feel like a particular stop point. A lot of the time I'm feeling what's happening before I can consciously see it. So, even though this is extremely satisfying already, I see these nodules in my mind's eye and am inclined to continue the piece just that bit further, even though it might be the point of overworking. Here we go with some finer details. The confetti of dots, always a great addition to get focus and attention in specific areas, or control it from the outside in. I've had the feeling of wanting to stop for the last 4 or 5 minutes, but look at me go. Now, I think that is getting pretty close to a nice start point. Oh. Okay, let's see how we feel about this. Trying to stop at this point, but letting the curiosity and the hypnotic effects continue to pull me in. Just a bit darker. We'll see. Where we are. Bang. I'm pretty happy with that for the moment. Complete control all the way through, following up on mistakes, enjoying that balance in and out, many shapes to focus on there, all of which one leads into another, a couple of sort of faces emerging. 5 dots there, 5 dots there, 5 dots there, or 4 there. 5, why not? Maybe another one there. Oh, they all want to join up. And we've got something that's got quite its own personality. And just sit and breathe for a second. See where this particular piece is letting me be. And for the moment, that's quite a nice happy point. I'll let you tell me what you think. Thanks for watching.